All right. Let's see here. Good morning. Welcome back to the old Phase of Data live stream, where we're going to take on Makeover Monday this week. So, let me get some things resized here. This week for Makeover Monday, we've got a data set, that's for sure. We've got the Squirrel Census from 2020. And so, if we download this data, what this looks like is essentially, flip to the article. There's this group that does in fact monitor squirrels. So you can essentially, if you see a squirrel, you can submit, uh, you know, that squirrel essentially, and the park that you found it, and a bunch of metadata about what the squirrel was doing, so on and so forth. A really cool project and super fun for Makeover Monday. Today, I was thinking about this data set last night, and I was actually looking back because Makeover Monday had done this same data set, I think in 2019, so years ago, with a different set of census data for squirrels. And it got me thinking, what kind of ideas can I try to pull that are a bit novel? So when I start looking for inspiration, and usually I try to do this stuff blind, but with the squirrel data set, I kind of wanted to do something more fun and punchy. I went to Tableau Public and I searched up squirrel census. And I was scrolling and I was exploring and I saw this viz here by Nisamara, where there's this really cool like polygon rendered squirrel. And I was like, surely this is just a static PNG sitting on top of Tableau. No, of course not. These are all marks making a squirrel. Super, super cool. It changes colors when you switch. It just looks like a crystal squirrel. I am so fascinated by this. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do polygon art within an hour, especially, but it did inspire another thought, which was, could I do something similar to this, but with an 8-bit squirrel? So I took this image here from Shutterstock, and I'm mindful that this would be copywritten. So I passed it into my old pal Claude. And I basically said, here's an example of an 8-bit squirrel image. I want to turn it into a tile map instead of Tableau. So every pixel needs to be in a table. So I gave it the image. I wanted it to center it at 0, 0, and I wanted essentially 3 color schemes, one for gray, cinnamon, and black. I haven't actually looked at the data yet, so I hope those are the right colors in there. Um, but yeah, looking through this, it did flag the watermark and the fact that it would be a copyright infringement. So fortunately, Claude Opus 5 is nice and smart, and it can create you uh, new pixel art. So it actually went through and it made me this new little squirrel, which I love. I'm super happy to use this. And yeah, essentially, we're going to try and pull this together inside of Tableau. Last but not least, I threw up my logo as well. And I said, hey, let's make this pixel art too. If we've got time, I might try to throw this in the bottom corner because it seems like it'd be fun. But yeah, a little bit of an abstract Makeover Monday for me this week. I just was feeling a little bit inspired by squirrels for some reason. So that's enough prelude and yap. Let's open up Tableau. Mm-mm-mm-mm. You can see I was looking at the polygon squirrel earlier. It's fascinating. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab squirrel data and throw it in here. And what have we got? Looks like this week we've got areas, parks. Here's that Tableau crashed. Super cool. I'm glad it crashed now, to be honest, and not later. Let's try this version. Mm. Also, if you're out there tuning in live, feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from today. Sweet. Nice. So yeah, for all of these squirrels that have been spotted, we've got data on their color scheme, where they were, if they were above ground or on the ground, what kind of activities they were doing. So foraging, eating, digging, so on and so forth. Whether or not they were fearful of humans or indifferent, other notes. And then last but not least, we have that latitude and longitude. So we have a squirrel ID. First thing I'd want to see is just, if we take our squirrel latitude and squirrel longitude, and then we grab our squirrel ID and flip flop those so we have longitude on columns. We do have one squirrel that looks like it's way the heck out here in Kyrgyzstan. So I'm going to exclude this for a moment and unpin the map. Nice. And yeah, we do have presumably all the different parks in New York. I haven't been to New York before, so I don't know a ton about these parks, but I think that's what we've got going on here. And if we take like area name and put that to color, yeah, we can start to see Brooklyn over here on the bottom right, central Manhattan, lower and upper. So this is an angle that you could take with the data set this week. You could even try like maybe like a density map and try to build something out. For what it's worth, I kind of wish there were. Am I allowed to say I wish there were more squirrel observations? Um, I don't know. This is fun. For what it's worth, I think I am going to focus more on my pixel art, and we'll tie it into the narrative one way or another. Good morning, Matt. Yeah, live streams and Tableau crashing. It is truly the wine pairing to go with my steak. Okay. I'm gonna save actually to that point, and we'll just call this MM Squirrels 2026 July 31. Cool. So let's go ahead and connect a new data source. And I generated these squirrel pixels from Claude. And so what we have here is we have an X and a Y coordinate. We have different regions. So like empty would be like the background of the pixel art. Outline would be the outline of the squirrel. And then we've got things like body. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this in Tableau. It should be pretty easy to do something with map layers on this. So let's try that out. So we've got squirrel pixels. If I create a calculated field here, and I'll just call it squirrel make point, pixel make point sounds better. Oh, pixel make point. Make this bigger. We can do make points of y comma x. Hit OK. Double click this, and we've got our grid coming in. I'm going to just go ahead and drag on a second map layer here for fun. Hide it, and then I can turn my background maps off. And now I'm going to change pixel make point to a square and add tile ID to detail. Okay. So here we've got the baseline of our pixels. And then let's see here. If we take something like region and we throw that on color, we can start to see the shape of the squirrel. It's hidden in there. Fortunately, I believe there is another field or another table we can connect to, and that was squirrel palette. Squirrel palette. And in this table, we've got region. So I think region is our join key between these two. We could do region ID, but region should work. Nice. And this even gives me hex codes. So what if we put the hex on color? And then I think I might unfortunately need to manually update these, which I can do. If you're here live, I'm sorry. And if you're in the recording, I would fast forward through this part, but I'm going to key in a series of hex codes. 1A1108. 1E, 1E, 2, 2, 2A, 1A, 12, 3A, 3, A, 40, 3A, 3, 7, 3F, 4, 2, sorry, 4A2, A18, 6B, 4A50, 6B6. I hope this is worth it. 7A, 5158. Feels like I'm doing an Iron Viz. Not really. They wouldn't spend time doing this, but I feel like I'm on the clock and I haven't practiced. 635 F6D. Oh, geez, there's so many. Here, wait. Let me stop here for a second and let me filter down to just scheme label. And we'll just go like black squirrel for now because that'll give me a shorter list and I can double check if this looks right. 08, 08, OA, 4845, 4F, C9, B8, 92, and white. Okay. And then if we size this up. Oh, very cool. Very nice. We have a squirrel. And if I change this to like, oh, nice. It's kind of like a kind of like a weird off-colored squirrel. This is kind of fun. It's like a shiny. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna try to update these ones really quick. I think that color is correct. I think this color is not. D98, A7A. This is miserable. E8712A. F2938C. FBE6C8. Nice. Let's make this single select. Very cool. And then we have our gray squirrel. I think the brown is right. I think that is right. I think this is wrong. Missed one. E9, D7, B1. Last one. F1, F0, EB. Success. Squirrels. Safe. I don't want to do that again. Nice. Now that's pretty sweet. Very cool. I'm already happy with this. I don't even want to touch the data anymore. This is done. Awesome. Customize. So here's what is this color here? 23212. Is that right? Yeah, I guess it's like the shadow. Yeah, that could be right. Okay. Um, I think I want to just focus on the color narrative here, so I can do a super simple viz. Um, if I take, let's play like, not Squirrel palette. Wait, I need this data set. Oops. They're all called Squirrel. I'm going to rename this to Makeover Monday data, and Squirrel pixels is fine. So if we take, what do we have? Color notes is not what we want. Let's view the data. We need color notes, highlights, primary fur color is what we need. Perfect. And most all of our data has something there. And then we could do like a percent of total perhaps. Nice. Okay. I'm thinking that we do just like a waffle chart to play around with something super simple again. Um, and I'm not going to act like I just came up with that off the top of my head. I thought I might need a waffle chart today, so I did grab a file for that. So I'm going to go and edit this data source and grab what I just went to Claude earlier and I said, not that. Maybe it wasn't Claude. Maybe I used Gemini. But I basically said, hey, just generate me a file because I don't feel like keying it in by hand that is 10 by 10. And we have a point ID, a row, and a column to create our 10 by 10 grid for our waffles. So that's what we've got. If I find that and drag it on, we can densify our data by making a relationship calculation where 1 equals 1 or A equals A, anything to make sure that every row in the waffle template joins to every row in Squirrel data. And we should be able to go, let's see, make these dimensions. So close, Tableau, so close. Rows and columns. We can change our mark type to a square. And then I'll create a parameter. I'll just call it p color. The answer to that is not yellow. String, and we will do black, gray, cinnamon. Here I come, I am cinnamon. And yeah, we'll just say is selected color. And we can do p color equals primary fur color. Is this gonna work for me? Yeah, this will work for me. Sweet. I mean, really all that we need is this percentage value, right? Like this is going to be 4, this is going to be 6, this is going to be 90. So I'm just going to make this way simpler than it needs to be. I'll just call this fur color values. Yeah, I'll just tie it to the parameter. So when black, then 4. When cinnamon, then 6. When gray, then oh, but wait a minute. This needs to be I spelled it funny. Then 90 and okay. And then we can go back to our heat map and we can say or our waffle chart, say highlighted squares. And we want any time that point ID is less than or equal to our fur color values. And what this should give us now is highlighting. Oops, I want these to be the other direction. I'll make these continuous for now. And if I show P color here, black had 4%, gray has 90%, cinnamon has 6%. So we can do some here. Let's talk about what this might look like. Um, vertical container 001,800. This is fun. We can make this like 1400 by 850. We can throw a title up here. I don't know what I'm doing. It's fine. We're gonna have to fix it later anyways. We'll throw a footer down here. And we will do a container. I didn't name any of these sheets. Waffle. Oops, my junk container. Move this over. Throw the waffle on. I'll have to play around with the size of everything, and that's going to be so much fun. Sweet, sweet. Let me format workbook really quick. Let's do a little pop-ins. Let's be fun for the squirrels. Let's make sure we have no grid lines, and everything else should be okay. Awesome. I like this at a 35 height. I like my container with some outer padding. That's a lot of outer padding. 10. And nice. And then in theory, we can go to our rename. Pixel Squirrel. Is this junk? Oh, yeah, I don't need this anymore. I have mutilated this data set, and this is such a stretch for Makeover Monday at this point, but I do have a data point, which is my waffle chart. And while we're here too, we can add another map layer to this. I didn't do it as a map layer though, so hold on. Let me. Oh, there's fields everywhere. Let's clean up. These are all data source. Calcs. I don't know why, but this helps me think so much better. Okay. And now I want to do a waffle point and make point, and columns go across, rows go up. So we do row first and then column. We can unselect this, add our waffle points, change these to squares, and then add our point ID to detail. And we can add our highlight squares back. That's still working. This should update as we change things, which it does. And then what I wanted to do earlier was I wanted to add a label. So we'll call this waffle label. We'll put it in the middle. So make point 5, 5. Right there in the center. I'll just make this a circle. Disable selection, remove opacity. And then this can be fur color values on label. I'll just put the percentage. I'll change the number formatting. default properties, number format. And we'll just do 0 decimals with a percentage suffix, 4%. Make this center center. And maybe like, I don't know. I don't want to fiddle with the size too much because the dashboard is going to mess everything up. But nice. This is a thing. We've got 2 points on our map layers, so we can disable the map. And we're getting somewhere. These colors aren't quite right yet, and I'll probably end up doing something where this changes to match the cinnamon and the black and the gray. But we're getting somewhere. Now the question is, how do I want to lay everything out here? I think I'm going to make the title space pretty tall. That might work. And I'm going to put the squirrel up here in the top right. And then the heat map is going to update here with a title that I might still want. We'll see. And then, yeah, let's do that. Let's stop there for a minute. I want to put another container in here just because I don't feel like floating the squirrel right now. We'll add our title to said container. We will edit its height to 250 again. We'll put our squirrel to the side. Perfect, just how we left him. Nice. This one's like perfect. I love it. Okay, so let's fix the width of this to be 250. You should not be fixed. There's our little squirrel guy. That was actually like a perfect grab, by the way, on my first slider. I don't know how that happened. But now this up, oh, it's so cool. Oh, it's so cool. Let's take our parameter, and if we pick this up, shift click and drop it on color, we can get this effect where we can have 2 fields on color. And for all of my falses, I'm just going to make these like a very white gray. Shoot. DC, D4, D0. Oops. I did it on the wrong one. No. Perfect. And then I need some color swatches from these guys. So let's update this to be what are the schemes? What are the aliases here? Black cinnamon gray with an E, which matches P color, right? We did. Yeah. So I can just do is selected squirrel pixel. And I can say scheme equals lower P color. Just add this up here. Take the scheme label off. And now these should update together, but this one doesn't. What did I change? Oh, I should not be changing this. Did that add the scheme label back? Yeah, it did. I don't want that, but I do want this with the radio buttons. Nice. Okay. do this. I don't want the highlight to happen, so I'm going to click more options, edit colors, and I'll just swatch this. Gray. Oops. Nice. Very fun. Okay. What now? There's nothing here, but simultaneously everything here. And I don't know how to feel. This is fun. Uh, Squirrels in New York. Uh, Distribution of uh, distribution of primary fur color. And I'll just say like Squirrel Census 2020. Make this like a size 20 or something. I used to do Figma stuff. I used to make pretty images, and now I just make this. It's so fun. Where's my tile ID? This does not need to be in the tooltip. What's the point in a Figma background image if you can just make it in Tableau? You can make everything in Tableau. So what I actually want on my tooltip is I want the scheme label. And then I want I don't have it. It's from the Makeover Monday dataset. This works, in case they forgot. Um, 8:30. I've got a lot of time. I'm like skipping the stuff that is kind of boring right now, like resizing this waffle chart. Um, I think this needs another text box. I think we need a little bit of context over here, and a space to put our buttons. So let's do that. I don't want it to be too heavy on the right-hand side. But I think I can counterweight that if I put a pixel art of my logo on the bottom left. I can like make everything feel somewhat balanced. So let's try that. We need to put this in another container, which it is in. Okay. So let's grab a text box. And let's write, this is a description of the data set and how to use. Awesome. And then we can, where do we want to put our buttons? I might just float the buttons, honestly, and put them like up here. Pick a squirrel color. So fun. And I need to, let's make another pixel thing, huh? That sounds like a good time. Save. Please don't crash on me. Let's see how this one looks. We've got again tile ID XY. This one should be quick because there's only two colors. So light lift here. And what did we do last time? We did pixel make point, which was YX. these squares. Oh, it didn't give me a hex code. The nerve. So cool. Okay, so I need my own hex code, which I can grab with this handy dandy tool. 78FBA7. 78FBA7. And then this is just black. Nice. We will add a second map layer and hide it because we want to turn off the background maps. This is fun. Oh, and I wonder, what if we what if we use rounded corners? Can we get this to become a circle? It might be too tight. Interesting. What if we up the inner padding? Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. I don't think this is gonna work. It's all right. We'll stick with it square. 0. How big do I want this? There's 0 lines on this? There are. It's like super small, but I don't like it. And you have lines too. Okay. Sweet. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What is our description? Let's get a little bit of inspiration. Write me a description for my dashboard. I have a skill inside of my Claude that I call Stop Slop. It is forked from a GitHub repo called Stop Slop, and it just kind of helps make the writing not sound so AI. So we're going to see how this looks and explain the dashboard. Let me make these guys a little bit smaller, and then I'll snip an image. It's still a work in progress, but we will have a waffle chart that shows the percent of squirrel population from the 2020 squirrel census. that is of that color. There is a parameter in the top right to select a color, black, gray, cinnamon. The pixel squirrel updates colors as you make your selection. Feel free to use bold words to emphasize preattentively where people should look. Also, if you have a better title or subtitle, I'm open to that too. Well, let's see what we got. I could have just typed the description at this point, but whatever. Do. Sparkling water break. What time is it? 8:41. We've still got time. This is going way too hard because I have Opus 5. This should be like haiku. Mhm. I think this needs to be 5.5, 5.5. I think I made a mistake. That looks better. You didn't have to validate the number. Stupid. On March 1st, 2020, Census Valley caught squirrels across 24 parks in Brooklyn and Manhattan and logged 433 sightings for the squirrel census. This is perfect. This is exactly what I need. Let it be known that if you are generating AI text, by the way, I very much am of the opinion that you need to proofread because too often do I see things that are not proofread and it just looks like junk. So if you expect other people to read it, you should be willing to read it yourself, is my perspective. represents 4%. Very cool. I'm gonna make this a slightly lighter color here. Is this a square? Did I ever check this? I don't think I did. No, I did not. We'll make this like 150 by 150. Oops. It looks a little bit big now, no? Oop. Nope, it was not. I'll just control Z that. Okay. Um, did it have anything to say about my title? All right. I like cinnamon is rare, black is rare. And then what is this telling me? This is a good descriptor. No, no, no. Okay. Oh, hello there, other Matt. And yes, I agree, Matt Meyer, on the proofreading piece, 100%. I feel like especially nowadays, you see way too much just slop out on the internet because people aren't reading what they're generating; they're just generating it and going on with their day. Viz by Blake Feza. Oops. Data from Squirrel Census. Stop doing that. Hashtag Makeover Monday. This still has rulers. 0 lines off. Nice. Cinnamon is rare, black is rare. Primary fur color from the squirrel census sample count. I'm just going to say primary fur color from the squirrel census in Brooklyn and Manhattan parks, March 2020. Doing this like the lazy way. In Brooklyn and then here we can just do an enter. Perfect. Oh, it's so fun. This tooltip needs to be cleaned up. Just do this. Highlighted squares can be turned off. Point ID can be turned off. Color. Percent of parameters dot p color squirrels. And then this can be fur color values. Do, 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 do. 90%. We change this. This updates. And clean this up a little bit further too. Just do this. Nice. Black squirrel. Gray squirrel. Cinnamon squirrel. Cool. I think this is all I got. I'm pretty content here. Let's clean up the junk over here. I could make the font of this slightly larger, I guess. I could make this like 12. And then I could format the body to be like 11. Nice. Very fun. Yeah, I agree, Matt. No need to over engineer. Sweet. Rest is history. I think we're done. And 5 minutes early at that, which is great because I do have a meeting at 9. So just doing one more spot check, but I think we're good. We can go ahead and publish to Tableau Public. I don't think I made extracts though. Oh, I knew it was going to happen though. Not data source filters. Extract. And extract. New York City squirrel census. Perfect. It's an M&M party. Shoot. Mm. Is that an M&M party because it's two Matts in here? Is that what that is? It took me a second. Nice. This looks terrible for some reason in the thumbnail, but it's all right. Hopefully that renders in better. Awesome. We are done. Um, Sweet. Yeah, thanks for joining today. Fun one. Definitely didn't really look at the data very much, but I had an idea, and by golly, we did it. That is the thing. So awesome. Thanks, guys. I will see you next week. Bye.